Righto guys, for Saturday we've got a bit of track work. Ideally the best place to do this is at Alroy Oval, where you do have that 400-meter running track. It's the easiest to run on, it's there, you get to go for a drive, so you get to be a bit excited about that and get out of the house. And there also is undercover areas there, depending on how hot or cold. But there's nothing stopping you going up there with hoodies, trackie and beanie and getting after it with that too. Today is some running. Don't just fob it off and go, oh no, that seems boring. It'll be very, very, very beneficial for your fitness, especially if you've just been doing a lot of stuff at home. There is no substitute for running, and better to do it now before we do go nosediving straight into winter and it gets windy and all that type of stuff as well. So please try and get this one done. Go through your warm-up, do any specific stretching you might need to do, stretch all that out, and maybe do some plyometrics like we have done before, some little run-throughs, especially if it's cold. Maybe even take your jump rope up and spend 15 minutes or so practicing your double unders as a bit of a warm-up for your calves, knees and ankles as well. Before you do these today, please make sure you are sweaty. Do not do a 400-meter run cold. I want you to be sweaty before you do this. Literally have it dripping from your forehead a bit before you even start the work today. So go through our normal warm-up. You can have it up on your phone. You've got 3 sets, 10-meter walk on toes, 10-meter walk on heels, and then a 10-meter exaggerated heel-to-toe walk to try and get as much movement through your feet as you can. Rest a minute, do any stretching you need to do in that minute. Then you're going to build into some build-up runs. So 6 sets of about a 60-meter sort of run through. So just gradually building up pace, pick up pace, and then back off nice and easy. Just an easy sort of half quickish walk back to where you started and go through again. That is your rest. You get faster and faster every round. This is where we should start to get a little bit sweaty. Stretch as needed between that as well. Then we've got our work. You've got 6 rounds. What if I was going to ask you for 6 individual rounds for time today? So you use a phone, whiteboard, whatever you need to. You've got plenty of rest in between each one. So you've got time to go to your phone and write it down, or a whiteboard or pen and paper, whatever you have. You've got 6 400-meter runs on the 5 minutes. That means every 5 minutes you start a new one. Set up a timer on your phone if you like, on your watch, whatever you need to do, and make sure you note those times. So 400 meters, like 1 lap or down and back in your block, whatever it might be, record your time, rest the rest. So if it took you 1 minute, you've got 4 minutes rest, so plenty of time to really recover so you can hit that next one nice and hard. But today, your goal is to not set the fastest 400, it's not to set the slowest one. I want you to try and learn your pacing. So every one you do, you want it to be exactly the same. If it's 1 minute and 1 second, we want all of them to be 1 minute and 1 second. If you have any that are 1 minute or a second or 2 over or a second or 2 under, that's 1 penalty. So let's just say your first one is 1 minute and 1 second. Your second one is 1 minute and 10 seconds. That's 1 penalty. Your third one's 1 minute and 2 seconds. That's 1 penalty. Your next one's 45 seconds. That's 1 penalty. Each penalty you do is 10 burpees at the end. So once you've done all of your runs, if you've clocked up 5 penalties, that's going to be your 50 burpees at the end. But make sure you sort of just check that out. Make sure your times are pretty well spot on. Be honest with yourself. Don't give yourself that extra fat. After you've done your burpees, as a bit of a cool down, have a bit of a fun. Out on the grass, grab some pads or something if you need to, if you're doing it at home. Just do some drills, a good sort of 10 to 20 minutes worth, or even longer if you have, practicing handstands. Whether that's just kicking up, whether that's trying to do a walk. But we want you to get you away from the walls. So we don't want that safety barrier there. I want you to take a step away and try and feel like it is. Yes, you will fail. You might fall over, but if you're on the grass, it's not really going to matter. It's the best way to learn. When I first started to learning the handstands, I would literally do 15 to 20 minutes just on my front lawn, on the grass every day, always falling over. But is the best way to learn how to do your handstand is just practice. Practice, 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 and more practice. Enjoy with that one and this week, team.